The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
And the bye week is officially over. The Cowboys are back to work. Vikings week has begun here at Ford Center inside the SWBC podcast studio at the Star in Frisco. Bill Jones with Mickey Spagnola. And Mickey, you know how you know the bye week is over?
Tell me.
Everson is here.
I knew Everson,
you was going to say Everson is back.
The bye week has begun. Yes.
It is over.
I am here.
It is over.
I didn't want to talk to you peons on a
right.
Monday, Tuesday after a bye week. Come on, man.
That's right. And so the bye week is officially over, and the players were off yesterday. They're back on the practice field today. I've got live hits on CBS 11 at 4:13, 4:15, 5:08, 5:13, 6:08, 6:20, because everybody wants to know about how Dak looks on the practice field. And I can't tell you how Dak looks on the practice field.
Well, that's why I'm here.
There you go.
There you go.
And
that's why you're here.
And as a matter of fact,
step up.
For the Cowboys, the bye week ended on Monday because they did practice.
Yes, they did practice on Monday, but our news people apparently didn't understand that. And so that's why I'm getting a text that I've got 6 hits between 4:08 and 6:20.
They should have had you here on Monday hiding in the bushes so you could have seen practice.
That's right. And we actually had an update on Dak Prescott last night at 10 o'clock because we taped the Mike McCarthy show yesterday. Oh. And so I gave one of those TV teases. Coming up next, the head coach talks about where Dak is in his rehab. And when we came back, we heard Mike McCarthy say absolutely nothing.
Zero. Nada.
About Dak coming back. So
well, at least he said a little bit more today, right?
Yeah, he said about the same thing today that he said last night.
Said last night.
So what did he say?
Okay, so
what do you know, Mickey?
What did he say?
Let's get started here. So Dak Prescott, I don't know that Mike said anything definitive about it, but he basically said he pointed out that he would do individual drills, fundamental drills, and then we'll assess just where he's at, which means, okay, how much can he do? And then he basically also pointed out that they have to get Cooper Rush ready just in case. And give him some time. So here's what happened in practice. When the Cowboys first got out there, basically Dak and Michael Gallup were working on the resistance cords. They were doing kind of their rehab.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was expected. Then Tyron went over there and did his. Zeke went over there and did his. Michael Gallup was over there. And then when they broke into kind of individual drills, fundamental drills, Dak stayed over there working with Britt Brown on all the different rehab exercises. It was almost like he was going through the same rehab resistant cord exercises as he was with his ankle.
Right.
So I can tell you he could get on the cords and do the side steps, moving to your right, then moving to your left. Then he did those high steps like you see the track guys warm up before a 100-meter dash, and then he did them faster. Then he was doing lunges straight ahead, and then he started doing them at 45-degree angles, so kind of a bit to the left, to the right. More quick side steps, backpedaling, and do you guys remember what the little deal was when you used to do the side step behind karaoke?
Yeah.
That's what I wrote down.
You are not
I wasn't sure you guys would know.
Did y'all not do
I was
karaoke?
ready.
The most
literally
the most unathletic person for you not to know what that was. We've been doing that since I was 7 years old.
I was prepared when I said
football.
when I said karaoke. You guys were going to say, "Oh, he was singing out there, right? See, I was
are
worried
not,
about
we that
you
juvenile,
guys.
Bill?
Yes, yes, you would have. That's why I didn't say karaoke. I said, no, we're not going down that rabbit hole.
So you wanted us to say the word.
I wanted to make you say it. That's exactly right.
Go ahead.
And then after he did
So
all
did you do
that
karaoke
stuff,
yourself?
junior high
Did
basketball.
they have it? Okay. In basketball, did you ever do karaoke in basketball?
It was just part of the routine.
That was
Not
part
in
of the
basketball.
training
You don't
conditioning.
do karaoke in basketball. You do it in football.
I gotta say, we did it in basketball. Yeah, we did it in basketball.
See, that's why you didn't make it in basketball. You weren't doing karaoke.
That's why he had no footwork.
That's right. Yeah.
Gee, I wonder what's wrong with Bill.
How many
do karaoke, man? We
did
tried to tell
karaoke in
him.
football.
He probably had all these 3-second calls in the lane.
Who does a crossover move?
Who couldn't do it? It was footwork.
You slide your feet in basketball.
Well, you sure don't do karaoke in football.
Unless you're beat going to the basket.
Hey,
then you got to
I've
do
done karaoke in football before, but it wasn't intentional. I gotta tell you.
I was going to say, and you sure didn't do it in the game either, did you?
Toasted.
Yeah, there goes Everson.
Did karaoke.
Okay, now let's be serious. So now, then when they kind of got into more of the position drills, Dak took snaps, handed off to the running backs, and then he threw. They did the snap from the equipment guy. Took shotgun snaps, threw 10-yard out to 20-yard outs.
They wanted the shotgun snaps to be accurate,
That's
so they
right.
had the equipment guy do it.
Exactly. Just hand them the ball.
We should not have the equipment guy
Right.
doing the snap, especially after what we've been going through in the game.
And then he was throwing 9 routes. So he went through all
Where
that.
was Connor? I'm sorry, not Connor. Where was Biotish?
They were doing the offensive line
Man,
stuff.
he better snap that ball to
No,
Dak.
he did the snaps when they practiced the snaps.
This
under
is just his
center.
rehab stuff.
Okay.
This is what they do all the time.
Okay, all right.
And then the horn sounded and we had to leave. So that's when they would have started some team stuff. So the question is, was he going to get into any team? I guess we won't find that out till tomorrow. Mike didn't sound like he was, and they wanted to make sure they had Cooper ready to go just in case. So I think all things point towards Dak being ready to play. Everything I saw, he wasn't favoring his right leg where the calf strain is. He was throwing the ball just fine. He was jogging just fine.
So what I was going to say was everything that you pointed out sounded a bit strenuous.
Yes. Yes.
Maybe even as strenuous as it might be in a ball game, not necessarily when you're under duress.
Right. Not
with guys coming at you, not
Yeah.
scrambling,
Right.
not rolling out. But as far as just being able to hand it off, 7-step, drop 5-step, that looks good.
And
everything looks good.
By the way, I don't know if you caught this in the press conference, but Mike McCarthy said, yeah, I've been through this with a quarterback that had a calf strain before in 2014. And I go, oh, yeah, it was going into the Cowboy playoff game in Green Bay when it was reported that Aaron Rodgers had a calf tear, right? And I went back and looked, and if I remembered correctly, he ended up throwing 24 of 35 for 316 yards in that game against the Cowboys that they won 26-21 on
That's
the catch, no catch game, right? And I remember saying afterwards, and I didn't think they had touched him. They did end up sacking him twice. I think they had 2 quarterback hits, but he played on one leg and the Cowboys couldn't contain him. So that was Mike McCarthy's previous experience with a quarterback playing.
I'm sure
with
he
a
reminded.
calf
I'm
strain.
sure he kind of.
He didn't point out who they played. He just said it happened in the playoffs.
No. I mean in regards to Dak Prescott.
Oh, yeah.
You know, letting him know, hey, I've been through this before.
Yeah.
It was with Aaron. Let's go.
And when he mentioned it in the press
that's all he
conference,
got to do. Aaron, these are Aaron's stats. All right, let's go. That's all he had to say. And I'm sure Dak is like, all right.
And
challenge accepted.
He very cleverly pointed out in the press conference, he said going into the playoffs and we had to go up to Seattle. And it's like, no, you had to play the Cowboys.
And Dr. C.D. Lamb has chimed in just moments ago.
Right behind us, as a matter of fact.
He is 90% sure we are going to see Dak out there on Sunday
night. There you go.
So
there's the bottom line.
Dr. Lamb.
That's all we need to know right there. Yeah, exactly right.
Okay.
So that's that update on Dak Prescott. And
so it sounds like you were so fixated on Dak Prescott and his rehab work that you didn't see anything else out on the practice field.
No, I saw everything else you want to ask.
Okay.
What would you like to know? I can tell you that Tristan Hill was dressed, ready to practice. Dorrance Armstrong dressed, ready to practice. Kelvin Joseph dressed, ready to practice. Sean McKeon and Francis Bernard both having come back from, well, not come back, but started their 3-week period practicing on IR. They were out there, and they have placed, like we mentioned yesterday, Brett Urban and Maurice Kennedy on IR.
What's wrong with Kennedy?
Concussion protocol and needing a spot for Kelvin Joseph. Maybe.
I was going to say, what the hell is wrong with Kennedy? I didn't even see him play enough to get a concussion.
He left the game with a concussion.
He did? Okay.
Yeah, he ended up in concussion protocol.
Perfect timing.
And then Brett Urban has a tricep strain, tear, or whatever.
Tricep sounds like it could take a while.
That could, at least 4 weeks, because you got to spend 4 weeks on IR.
Of course,
no, 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
That could be convenient too. Yeah.
So these other guys were ready, had a helmet on. They were all ready to practice, including Lyle Collins.
Okay.
Coming back from. Now, here's where a little bit of the controversy started on that, because what Mike McCarthy said.
More controversy, you mean?
I'm going to, where did I put it? He goes, he was talking about Collins from Monday's practice, right? And he said he looked good, moved good on Monday, but obviously LC has position flexibility. We're going to start the week with Terence Steele at right tackle. So he didn't say he was starting the game at right tackle. He said we're going to start the week that way. And then he went on to say LC gives us some great competition in there, so we're going to try to work him in as much as possible this week. We'll work him at tackle and guard.
Wow.
And on the depth chart, the official depth chart for this week, Lyle Collins is listed as the backup left guard and the backup right tackle.
So what did he play in college?
Tackle, left tackle.
Yes.
And then he started here at left guard.
Okay.
And then they moved him to right tackle.
And we like him better where?
I liked him better at tackle.
Team-wise, with what we have now, with Steele doing well.
Right.
If you could put Lyle Collins in.
At left guard, which he hasn't played since 2016, 17, somewhere in there. What was his rookie?
Well, Leary was here in 16.
So 17, he would have played guard.
15, he would have been at guard, and then I'll find a media guide.
You've got your media guide there. But he had been moved to tackle. So I don't know if they're thinking, well, if Steele's good here, maybe Lyle Collins moves back inside. But the other thing to consider here with Steele, and when they went into their little line drills or whatever they were doing, Steele was lined up with the first team at right tackle. Lyle Collins was playing linebacker. Okay.
What?
Because they do the drill.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they're dummy drills.
Right?
I call them
the dummy drills.
Yeah.
And then when he went in with the second team, he was at right tackle. Mm-hmm. I didn't see him at any guard type thing. But evidently that thought is in their mind if they're thinking, okay, if we're going to try to get our 5 best guys out there, however they do it. And I would imagine Philbin has something to say about this or at least give them some advice of maybe we should try this.
Yeah.
I always thought that Collins wouldn't play this week just because he only played one game. He missed part of training camp. He had some injury he was dealing with. And he didn't play all last year.
Mm-hmm.
So since the end of the 2019 season, he's played one game.
Tampa Bay, and that's it.
Yeah.
And now you're going to tell me you're going to practice, and so this will be 7 weeks, right, without playing a game. And you're going to tell me you're going to practice once in pads after all that and say, okay, big boy, go out there and start.
And at right tackle against Danielle Hunter.
Right, exactly.
Who has a sack every game in the last 3 years.
And Danielle Hunter might change their mind about Terence Steele, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Get too carried away with this guy being put in the Ring of Honor already.
Collins.
He's played one game, I think, in the last 22.
Okay.
Is that right? 16 and 6?
They would have drafted Danielle Hunter like I suggested they did. He'd be headed for the Ring of Honor. 2015, Lyle Collins played guard.
Right.
Okay.
That was his.
2016 was his injury-plagued year. He only played 3 games in 2016, and he was still playing guard.
Right.
And then Leary came in for him at guard. And so he made the conversion to right tackle in 2017.
Right.
So there you go.
And then he's played 2017, 2018, and 2019.
So it's a universal thing that as Steele is having a great year and filling in nicely, that we've been covering for him, correct?
I think so.
With the tight ends. No, you're not the only one that said that.
Yeah.
That has been pretty much the
And not all the time.
No, but definitely in key situations.
And then sometimes they played 2 tight ends to the left side, which would force the defense
exactly.
to swift over, right?
Either way, it's going to benefit him.
Yes.
As a player, it's going to benefit Steele. So if you're going, let's say you put in, you put him in at left guard. You said you put Lyle Collins in at left guard.
Right. Because he's not going in for Zach, right?
No, he ain't. No, we're not even thinking about that. So, how does that affect us offensively? Can you give both of them some type of assistance? Meaning, can you help Steele out with, say, 3 tight ends or whatever you want to do? And will that hurt having Collins at left guard in some way? Will that put him at a disadvantage?
I'll be a smart aleck and say it'll be less holding calls.
Very good, Bill.
Well, hey, I'm the guy, okay? That's me.
Now, see, here's my other thought for this week. If
less personal foul, less.
If they want Collins active, he would need to be active as the backup tackle and maybe the backup guard also. So you give him 2 things to do, right? And you just use him in case of an emergency at tackle, I would think. And that's a possibility also.
Our offensive linemen, as when I was coming up, they were considered, as a group, the most intellectual. They're the ones that can make all the adjustments that you need to make. The unison that they have is the most important, probably on the team, because you're talking about a center making these calls. Everybody's got to be, all in tune to what's going on. I just don't want this to take away that continuity that we have on our offensive line.
Right.
Can you make that move with Collins here and keep Steele here? I played safety back in college. Didn't play it again until I was with the Giants. And it still was pretty simple to me. But this is just playing safety.
You didn't have to make any line calls.
I didn't have to make any calls. I didn't have to make any adjustments. As a matter of fact, I made sure and asked Al Groh, let's keep this simple. I hadn't played. This is my first time and say, let's keep this simple. So we kept it simple, cover 2, cover 3. I can do all of that. Is it that simple? Can you say it's that simple for Collins to do that on the offensive line?
No, because I think going back inside where there's more traffic, right, and there's more
variables.
When you're outside,
to deal
right,
with.
You basically
you cut off half of your brain. Half of your brain is cut off, right?
And I got a guy maybe blitzing to the outside. Inside, you got those guys stunning, and you got to pass off. And it's like, okay, I got to hit this guy, but come back and hit that guy.
You have to think peripherally, right?
Yeah.
You have to think peripherally.
Yeah, and then you got a linebacker blitzing your gap also, by the way. Yes, Mr.
Well, I was just looking at the Vikings defensive line and seeing what they got up front on their defensive line, what could cause some problems. And it's just like every other team in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, they all got
you
big
let
guys
them,
in
they'll
the
do
middle.
it.
Yeah,
You let
that's
them,
right.
they'll do it. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Although defensively, they haven't ranked very high.
They have a lot of. Don't they have a lot of sacks?
They're better on offense when it comes to yards than they are on defense. Defensively, they are the 16th ranked defense in total yards, 26th against the run, and 12th against the pass.
Mm-hmm. And as sacks, they've got 21 sacks.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys have 9.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They are with the rush. Everson's back.
Everson, that's right. Everson Walls Griffin.
Right
is
back where he's supposed to be.
That's exactly right. All right, we continue with more Mick Shots in just a moment.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way. Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
It's game day. You know what that means. First, kebab prep. Steak, pepper, onion, steak, pepper, onion. Next, a counterclockwise lap around the room. Now the lucky grease-stained jersey goes on. And lastly, the dance. You know the one. This is a game day ritual no matter where you are. Whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com and keep the tradition alive and well. Hotels.com, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Mick Shots.
Head to AT&T Stadium on Saturday, November 6th to experience Rally Day presented by SeatGeek. Take a tour of the stadium, play games, get autographs from the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, and more. Visit attstadium.com/rallydays for tickets and more information.
All right, Cowboys and Minnesota Vikings, 7:20 kickoff Sunday night football this week, and then 2 straight home games against the Broncos and the Falcons, and then off to Kansas City.
If you can get there.
Can get where?
To Kansas City. Fortunately, the Cowboys have a charter. They don't have to try to go
you're
commercially.
Talking one of the
Like
airlines in particular?
The
or
rest of us, yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I think everybody's going to Kansas City for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Oh, you've been trying to book a flight. You know, you can drive there.
Yes, and you know what?
Yeah, I think that'd be best.
That'd be
best. I don't want to call out the airlines, but I know which one I'm not taking.
With the round trip tickets at this point, trying to get there Saturday and come back Monday at about $1,000. The rest of the flights that are available.
What is that?
Sorry. I hit the wrong thing. And I'm just.
You sure did.
Stop, Chris. I'm sorry, sir. I know your production is important. Let's go ahead.
That was a Clarence Hill mistake, right?
Yes, it was.
That's what Clarence usually
was.
does. Anyway, a round trip, trying to get there Saturday and come back Monday, like it's already $1,000.
And it's about 8-hour drive?
And then the rest of the flights are all.
I don't know if I want to take that drive.
All the rest of the connections are connections, right? And you got to go to Chicago or you got to go to Austin to get or Denver to get to Kansas City. So, yeah, driving is, it's almost the same as the connection flights.
that's kind of the way I look at it is on like a game in Houston. There's been numerous preseason games the Cowboys have played in Houston. Instead of taking a flight down there and a flight back, I am if it's 4.5 hours, I am driving because it takes
that's
just
my
as long.
limit. 4.5 hours is my limit. I don't want to drive over that. Yeah, that's my limit.
Yeah,
too.
4.5, 5 hours.
Yes. I'm thinking you're going to get on that bus trip, aren't you?
That's what I told him. I told Scott. I said, you know what? If it's going to be that expensive to get the radio crew there, the radio crews, because you got Spanish too.
Yeah.
I said, Cowboy bus, let's go.
That sounds good. That really does.
479 miles to Kansas City, which is an 8-hour, 10-minute drive, according to the app on my
And on a
phone.
bus, it'll probably take
And I've
longer.
got some alternative ways to get there, but I'm not saying it because I don't want everybody else jumping on those flights.
That's all right. Nobody's listening.
He flies private jet sometimes, Mick.
He goes with Jerry.
Right.
Come on, Chris. He goes with Jerry.
Is there a room on Jerry's?
I wonder who's calling that game. Is it a?
You could also inquire about Clark Hunt.
Maybe Troy
will.
Troy will take us, right? Is Fox got that game, you think? It's kind of hard to know. It might be listed
I think
there.
it may be listed.
Well,
it'll be listed.
It's either Troy or Tony, right?
It's Fox. It's Fox. It's 3:25 kickoff at Kansas City.
Maybe Troy would take us on his private plane.
Kind of doubt that, Mickey.
Yeah.
Darn.
All right,
You
Mickey.
and Skip Bayless, y'all can ride in the back.
So anyway,
Skip is getting dropped out. Skip is riding in the back.
30,000 feet, Skip's going to be dropped.
They're going to open it up with no parachute.
Skip, stop.
He almost got dropped out coming back from Philadelphia in '91.
I bet he did.
Mark Tooney chested up with him
he did.
on the charter flight, by the way.
Okay, you wanted to point out something else about the offensive line.
Not the off.
Or
Oh,
something.
yes. So thinking forward, Connor McGovern.
Beyond this week, you mean?
Connor Williams, his contract's up, right?
Yes.
Steele's pretty cheap. They invested a lot of money in Lyle Collins. So maybe in their mind they're going, well, if he moves back inside, and then we got Connor McGovern to maybe compete at center legitimately, not just taking the second snaps in practice. Maybe you move
and you can
forward
justify that we're paying our left guard so much money because we're not paying our right tackle that much money.
It's right. Who's still on a
rookie contract.
Seventh-round draft pick. If you look at the girth of that offensive line, just the way you called it's extremely intimidating.
Yeah.
I mean, they're kicking butt right now. Could you imagine showing up the inside like that? Oh, my goodness. And it's not just that Collins is big. He's mean.
Yes.
He plays with attitude. And when you have that all up and down the line of script, you have him next to Tyron Smith. Man, that's – and then you got Zach over here, next to somebody who's playing pretty doggone well with Steele. I mean, where's your weakness?
And then the other one of, I think, some sort of contention is Michael Gallup. How ready would he be
That was my next question.
to play?
Yes. Because this was around the time that you said everybody was coming back.
But again,
so I had another guy too. But go ahead.
He's in the same boat as Collins, right?
Okay.
He played in the opener, and now it'll be 7 weeks with one padded practice. Maybe it's different for the wide receiver. There's not as much contact out there, but you want to make sure you're not making a week-to-week decision on him. Like, his calf. Not everybody's calf strain is the same, right? So we'll see where that one goes. But he seemed to be running pretty well out there in the drills we were watching. So that'll be one to keep
I
an
know
eye on.
I'm not. I hadn't been here first couple of days, so I'm kind of catching up. So D-Law, what's up with D-Law?
He's still. It sounds like a couple of weeks away.
So
maybe we're looking at Thanksgiving, after Thanksgiving, somewhere.
That's more than a couple of weeks.
Well,
that's like a
3,
month.
Yeah. No, actually, I meant to say maybe Kansas City. Somewhere in that.
But then
range.
you get to that point, then it's like depending on how these next 3 games go, then you got Kansas City and the Raiders that are with 2 games in 5 days.
You probably don't want him doing that. Because it takes time to recover from that first game.
By then, you've got a 6.5 game lead in the division.
Okay.
I'm with you, Bill.
But we're not concerned about the division.
No, we're not.
Concerned about first-round bye.
Eyes are elsewhere, but
That's right.
our eyes are beyond. Yes.
Okay.
Are you home field advantage, baby? That's what we're talking about.
Are you concerned about this game coming up?
I think there is reason to be concerned.
It is reason.
Exactly right.
I have reason every game.
Right.
Because every game brings a different challenge. That's what I like about it, the different challenges that they bring. And as long as we keep improving as we knock down each challenge, because each time it's going to be, okay, here comes a road game. Here comes a road game that's a division opponent. Here comes a road game with a conference opponent. Now we got to play another undefeated team or a team that's first in their division. Now it's outside the conference, inside. It's always a challenge that you're going to come up against, not to mention interiorly, as far as injuries, as far as sometimes you might hit a bump in the road every once in a while. It just happens with even good teams.
Go ask Oklahoma, right?
Yeah.
Had to play Kansas.
I knew that.
That's a layup.
That game made me so nervous.
Exactly.
It made me so nervous.
It always reminded me of what my dad used to tell me about baseball. And then some guy would come up to bat, and I was like, oh, that guy's hitting like 190. He can't hit. My dad goes, has he got a bat in his hand?
Yes, he does. How many times has a World Series been determined by the great play of some X-factor guy that hadn't done jack all season long? All of a sudden, he's a DH, and he comes in and has this great...
How about last night? First batter in the game, Soler, hits a home run. First time in World Series history.
That's true.
How? The first
come on, man.
batter in the
all
game.
These World Series games.
No one's led off with a home run.
How could you not do that? That's like the 14 to 11, right?
Yeah.
How could that not happen?
That's right. All right. The biggest concerns on Sunday in Minnesota when we come back here on Mick Shots.
At Smoothie King, we are blending goodness to fuel your greatness. Every blend is crafted to help you achieve your health and fitness goals. Smoothie King uses only whole fruits and organic veggies. You'll never find sugary syrups or artificial flavors, colors, or preservatives. And unlike some other smoothie places, there are 0 grams of added sugar in many of our blends. Smoothie King is proud to be the official smoothie of the Dallas Cowboys. Place your order in the app or online for pickup or delivery. Smoothie King, rule the day.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way. Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with United Ag and Turf. Before you can park yourself in front of the game, park yourself in a John Deere and power through your chores. Our Land Run package is a 1025R, 25 horsepower tractor with a loader, rotary cutter, and a box blade for $229 a month. And the price you see is the price you'll pay, no surprises. So don't miss another kickoff.
Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com. Offer ends February 1st, 2021. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Now let's get to work.
Back to Mick Shots.
Hey, Cowboy fans, join the NFL in supporting our nation's service members by wearing the latest Dallas Cowboys Salute to Service gear. Visit your local Dallas Cowboy Pro Shop or shop.dallascowboys.com. A fanatic experience to find the full assortment of Salute to Service gear.
I gotta say, man, knew we did it better than you, bro. I didn't want to admit it, man, but and I didn't tell him.
Yeah,
so.
But he was trained.
Yeah, there you go.
Mickey is Mickey.
That's right.
Okay, and we're looking forward to Sunday night in Minneapolis. And remember last year, the Cowboys went to Minnesota and played and won, right?
Yes.
What was that environment like?
I wouldn't know.
Because
Very quiet.
We weren't traveling last
you weren't
year.
traveling, and just looking at it on television, it looked like no one else was traveling either because it was a vacant stadium.
That's right.
So it's going to be a little different on Sunday
Yes,
night
it
in
will.
Minnesota. And by the way, this is a Vikings team that we've talked about. They're coming off a bye. Okay, what happened in their last game that they played? They played at the Carolina Panthers.
And they beat the Panthers.
Road game, they beat the Panthers, and how did they do it? It was in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
An overtime win, 27-yard touchdown pass from Kirk Cousins to K.J. Osborne won the game for them, almost identical to what the Cowboys did on the road winning at New England. So the Cowboys are sitting here riding a 5-game winning streak. The Vikings have actually won 2 in a row, and their last game was identical fashion to what the Cowboys
And
did.
I think 3 out of the last 4, if I...
Now, were they the ones that lost to Arizona by missing a 30-yard
They
field
lost
goal?
by 1 point to Arizona. In fact, if you look at their 3 losses, they lost in the season opener at Cincinnati by 3 points. They lost the next week, second week of the season, against Arizona, 1 point. Won the next game against Seattle, and then lost to Cleveland by 7. So 3 of their first 4 games, they lost to 3 pretty good teams.
Very good team. Yeah.
By a total of 11 points.
And then they beat those
But now look at their wins.
Detroit Lions by 2.
Yeah, see, their wins aren't as impressive because we showed that Carolina just really wasn't the team that they thought they were.
I called them
their
frauds
wins,
without
right.
you here.
So what we're saying, their wins aren't as impressive as their losses.
That's correct, which is very weird. And that's the kind of team, see, once again, that's another challenge that you have to be prepared for as a team. And the only thing I can say about this Dallas Cowboy team, and everybody knows it, they are just different this year. You might make those mistakes, but we overcome our mistakes, and we don't make as many mistakes as we have in the past. And as you look at our team, you see a lot of nitpicking. Well, they're nitpicking with the Dallas Cowboys because we are making mistakes and still winning. They want to call that luck. As far as I'm concerned, everything balances out in this NFL game. You've seen teams that have won games with a lot of penalties. You've seen them lost games by shooting themselves in the foot, and yet they are still where they are. The Cowboys are exactly where we need to be. I think we're a special team, probably the most inclusive team, I would call it. Everyone seems to enjoy each other, and that's not talking kumbaya moments here, but I'm talking about each player, each group respects the other because they are all bringing something to the table. You know, if in the past you've got, you know, you can say, man, defense is sitting over, man, these guys on offense, God, they are killing me, man. They put us through this every week. You know, every game you can see a defensive player over there, come on, offense, you know, fussing at them, or a group of guys, come on, you ain't worth the crap. You don't have that this year because everyone is doing their job. Even when they make mistakes, they're coming back, they're making up for it, and we're overcoming it collectively, not as individuals.
And we figured out yesterday that when you said everyone is doing their jobs, they've had 60 guys doing their jobs so far this year.
Yeah.
They've played games.
Yes.
And that's without their player council going to the head coach saying, we want to play everybody in the home opener, Mavericks.
Is that what happened?
Yes. They played 15 guys last night. And they said the player council went to Jason Kidd and said, we would like to have everybody play in the home opener. And they played 15 guys.
Wow.
They played guys I didn't even know were on the roster, by the way.
Wow.
And don't ask me who they were because I still don't remember.
See?
That's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah, well,
as a player, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
I mean, mom is watching, bro.
You see,
I mean, I got a mother too.
Dak
she wants to see me play.
That's the contrast between Jason Kidd and Rick Carlisle.
Oh yes.
Right? Yeah, Carlisle.
Oh, yeah.
Carlisle would have scrunched his nose and went, huh?
Let's see how it ends up.
Don't we want to win?
Let's see if Kumbaya winds
Okay,
up.
so speaking about 60 players.
Yes.
All right, Gallimore, what's going on?
He's still rehabbing.
What are we looking at?
So I'm thinking he and Lawrence are kind of in that same boat. Now I see Gallimore out running more than Lawrence, but then he hurt his elbow.
Of course.
He didn't break a bone in his foot. So
see, because when you start talking about getting down to the nitty-gritty, and you said
how many games after Thanksgiving?
5?
5 or 6? 5?
We got 6 now.
It's 6?
6 now.
So
the season doesn't end until January 9th.
Yeah.
So say he gets back for, is it New Orleans is right after Thanksgiving?
Yes, Thursday after Thanksgiving.
So maybe circle that game for Lawrence.
And see, even as these guys return, I can't see any type of, bad feelings about it. I can't see any type of negativity about that. I don't think anyone's going to be worried about playing time. It just seems like everybody gets to eat.
Yeah.
Not just offensively, but defensively. We have so much depth defensively. It is ridiculous.
Truly, there are 10 games after Thanksgiving.
Sorry, Bill.
Unless they get the first round bye.
I know somebody was out there waiting on Bill.
Unless they get the first round bye.
Because after seeing how much the plane flights cost to Kansas City, he's already got his to L.A.
So there's 15 games. Unless they get the first round bye, there's 15 games left in the season right now.
Okay.
So,
that's a whole new season.
Yeah. All right.
We talk about thresholds. He just put up, the biggest hill ever.
So that is a college football national championship season that they still have yet to play.
So think
because that's what you have to play to win a college national
If
championship.
they went that far, it would be like Lawrence comes back after Thanksgiving, and if they went that far, it's almost like a college season.
That's right.
And that goes to my point. We're going to need it. We're going to need it. Guys are going to get tired.
And don't put it past them just saying, okay, we don't need to activate these guys. We don't need to get them practicing, right? They get 2 injuries this week that made room for at the end of the week if they want to move guys up or not. And when it comes to Joseph and McEwen, their 3 weeks, I'm told, are up next Tuesday. So
do
they have to either activate them
this week?
By next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah, because
so
that's
got to be activated for the following week.
For the following week.
Okay,
yeah.
so they don't have to for this game.
Right. That was my understanding. That's what I was told because I saw somebody say no, they got to do it by Saturday, but they were just counting weeks. I was told the weeks don't count until you put them on you put them on IR.
Okay.
So they've got 2 open spots.
I just think it's amazing that the depth we have, I think the pace that we're using, we're not burning anyone out, and when these guys come back, they're going to be fresh legs. And, of course, someone else is going to get hurt. Things are going to be untimely. But I think we have the luxury of depth to deal with any type of injuries we have.
And you got a trade deadline coming up on Tuesday, and so you can add something there. What would you like to add?
Nothing.
Oh, Bill's going to tell you.
What do you want?
Bill's got one up his sleeve.
He never. He's like the cops. They never ask a question without knowing the answer.
Exactly. that was his year in law school.
That's right.
That was my month.
No, that was going to say. Yeah, I was going to give him 8 weeks. Yeah.
No, it was 4 weeks. It was 1 month.
It was 1 month.
How would you feel about the Cowboys starting Cooper Rush in Minnesota on Sunday night?
Oh, shut up, man. What are you talking about? Why?
I'm talking about the trade deadline.
Why?
He wants a veteran quarterback.
I want a veteran quarterback in here.
Backup.
We've proven here over the last 6 weeks that and with a 3.5 game lead at this juncture in the season, I'm convinced this team is going to be playing in January. Mm-hmm. And there's a red flag right here last year, and then this last game that tells me, okay, if you lost that man, can you accomplish all this work that you put into it? Can you accomplish it with what you have in the building right now?
Definitely much better equipped. I can say that if something like that happens
to survive with quarterback.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
As a team,
can you do it without
but with a veteran experience? I'm thinking with your scenario,
and this will be
with an experienced quarterback, we could do much better.
The only show that can point out that in 1993 the Cowboys did exactly that.
Oh, I love that guy,
Bernie Kosar.
Oh, Bernie, you're thinking Bernie? I was thinking the other one that went Troy.
Burline.
That was my guy, man.
Mm-hmm. But they made that move.
Was my guy, dude.
Well, it was Burline or Babe.
That was easy call. Yeah.
And then you had Rodney Pete in here also.
Right.
You know.
But that started.
The Kosar thing.
The Kosar was mid-season.
And then you brought in Wade Wilson at one point.
No, that was
later.
to start the 95 season.
And that's a Super Bowl season. Right. And Wade Wilson's your backup quarterback. And
who they never had to play.
Right, exactly. But you've got that luxury that you've got a guy who has experience winning in this league.
And
that's what this team does not have as a backup quarterback right now.
So I'm sure you have somebody in mind.
I threw out one the other day, but I'm not going down that road again. I'm going to go look through rosters, and you basically have to look through rosters of teams that are 500 or below right now.
Well, we can give you an example. Because
we're not giving
examples. The Jets made a trade.
Okay. All right.
For Flacco.
Yes.
Right, but they had an injury, and they brought in a veteran guy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the kind of guy you're probably looking for that's had starts in the league. Because if you remember, it's almost the same thing. Jason Garrett was the backup quarterback in '93.
Yeah.
I just thought of
another one, right?
And he had never played.
Right.
I just thought of another one, but I'll tell you after we get off the air here, and I'll let you know whether it really happens or not next week. But
secrets.
Yeah.
But you know what? Kosar ended up.
Yes.
Jason started the next game, and he played like a quarter, and then Kosar came in and finished it, and they won. He started the next week. I want to say the Cowboys got beat, but then he came in to finish off the NFC title game after Troy suffered his concussion.
We've had much success with backup quarterbacks here. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about key successes. Like you said, just fill in the spot.
But I just think it's a warning, a timely warning right now that, okay, here Dak just has a calf. Well, what if he did have to miss a couple of weeks? What if you get into a key stretch of this season and the playoffs, whatever, where your quarterback is in, here's an opportunity to bring an experienced guy in and have him ready in January in case, the first round of the playoffs, your quarterback,
as long as it's not
can't play.
As long as it's not Brad Johnson who couldn't complete a 10-yard pass in 2000.
Well, here's what you know about bad quarterbacks, and this is no joke. They can get people hurt. They really can. Okay, your wide receivers will get hurt. Your running backs will get hurt because you guys don't have the timing together. The linemen are going to be working a little bit harder. We become much more predictable, when you have a backup quarterback. So therefore, their anticipation level defensively for them would be even better. Things happen when you wind up the opposition.
Did you watch Monday Night Football?
I did not.
You didn't miss much.
Just what you're talking about.
Is that what just happened? I was out there doing my thing.
We punted it out yesterday.
We punted it out?
Pointed it out yesterday.
They punted it out a lot on Monday night.
That Sean Payton had to be sitting there going, 15 years with Drew Brees, and now I got to put up with this?
Yeah.
And Pete Carroll, same thing.
Yeah.
He's got Russell Wilson next to him, and he's going,
now you got this guy. So now we have who is our guy? Who's going to be our guy?
All right,
Cooper Rush. Got to get him ready.
Or might it be Will Greer?
Well, you never know.
Okay, there's a couple of possibilities.
He's played a lot too, right?
There you go.
What, 2 games?
Something like that. I haven't looked it up.
I don't like any of those choices.
Yeah. All right, that does
direct snap.
That does it for this edition of Mick Shots, and this is the much-anticipated signature sign-off for Mick Shots, courtesy Everson Walls.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!